Have a look at my review of Way Out West from 1937, directed by James W. Horne, and of course produced by Roach and Stan Laurel. So yes, we are back once again, ready to discuss Laurel and Hardy on the channel, and this time around, finally talking about Way Out West. What can I say? This was, one that I've been looking forward to talking about for many, many years on the channel, and I watched it fairly recently again, and here we are, finally talking about this film. Probably the most iconic, film that they made, at least. Certainly the most iconic sequence is in this film with the dance sequence. So yes, first of all, there will be a spoiler warning, for this discussion. If you haven't seen this film, I would highly, highly recommend seeing this. It's an absolute classic, and then come back to this video, and we can go from there. We can talk about this film in the comments, your personal experiences with this, and all things Laurel and Hardy, of course, on the channel. So yes, all that said, let's discuss my thoughts on this film. Wow, this is a very, very special film to me. I saw this. I saw a lot of Laurel and Hardy's, loads of them from the age of 5 and 6. I started watching these, and this is the one I didn't actually see until I was 12. So that's really interesting, and I'd been wanting to see this on the DVDs as well. I had at that point, quite a few of them, and you'd see this on the menu, the dance sequence, and always wanted to see Way Out West. Finally got this 2008 Christmas, so I was 12. Just turned 12, a few months before that, and so it's kind of fairly late, in terms of compared to quite a few of the Laurel and Hardys, that I love. Seeing this film, and it's one that when I did see it, I thought, wow, that was something else. I fell in love with this, and I have seen this many, many times, over the years since. At least 10 times I've seen this, quite a few. So really, really love this film, and just every time I see it, it gets better and better, and it's such a magical film. It's quite different to some of the Laurel and Hardys, but this being a Western musical film, it's just so unique, and I love this film so much, and I think it really elevates in certain sequences, and of course it is one of the absolute funniest for me personally Laurel and Hardy films. This being in 37, it wasn't quite in the middle of their kind of pinnacle period. It was coming towards the end of this, but it's still very much in their prime. I just think the whole of the 30s for them was just something else, and I think this film for me is one of the absolute greatest Laurel and Hardy films. It's one of my favourite, if you count it as that, Western films, and certainly one of my favourite comedies. This truly is, from start to finish, an absolutely legendary, magical piece of cinema. Of course, the plot is very simple in this film. We have Mary Roberts about to inherit this fortune, and of course, Laurel and Hardy, attempts to deliver the deed to her, of course, in Brushwood Gulch, and the saloon, of course, Mickey Finn owns, and he is one of the guardians of Mary Roberts, and Rosina Lawrence plays Mary Roberts, and really James Finlayson once again being in this film is great to see. He of course plays Mickey Finn, and we have Lola as well, and it's just absolutely hilarious how we have Laurel and Hardy attempting to deliver this, even then, before they get, to the town and saloon. We have, of course, Hardy falling through the kind of massive puddle there, and of course, their clothes being all wet. Seeing, that moment when Hardy falls down, through the puddle, it's just absolutely hilarious, and I love how, once again, we have the recurring gags throughout this film. As we know, it does end with Hardy once again falling through that, which we'll get to. But yes, I love the opening. It's around 13 minutes or so before the iconic dance sequence, and this is truly, truly something else. When they arrive, into town, we have, of course, before that on the stagecoach, just the sheriff, kind of warning them not to mess with him, and it's just hilarious moments there when Laurel, kind of just hugs, that woman there by accident, and just the mix-ups, as always, classic Laurel and Hardy stuff, and just arriving into town, just by the saloon there, we have the iconic dance sequence, and what can I say? This truly is one of the most magical moments, in cinema, really, for me, and just the build-up, kind of, uplifting tone, the jolly nature of Hardy at that point, and Laurel as well, and they just kind of come together there, and they notice, the Avalon Boys playing, this song, of course, and just, I think when they kind of lead into that, it's just so funny, and then it becomes this really, magical, uplifting, moment, of course, which is just elevating, the film, and I think the way that it's put together, the magical backdrop as well, and making it more dreamlike, and just the dancing there, of course, they rehearsed for a while, and just the music there by the Avalon Boys, it truly is, it kind of all makes up this legendary sequence, and you can see why, this became probably the most iconic, sequence for Laurel and Hardy, and it's one of my favourites, definitely. And it's more just a magical, kind of musical number, and I love the way in which this is a musical at times, but also just a kind of standard Laurel and Hardy comedy film, and it's just the blending of genres as well, the Western genre in this, and the musical elements. Just the structure to this film, as I've said, is so precise, and I think after At the Ball That's All, and of course the Trail of Lonesome Pine, we have Laurel and Hardy singing in the saloon. I think it's a very interesting way in which they try to deliver the deed. They fail, and they're chased out of town, and then they come back for really the final act, trying to sneak in and actually steal Mary Roberts and the deed. I think this is just so well done. I think the way in which it's structured, it's very much they go in, they fail, and they come back for another go, and they are successful that time round. I think it's just brilliant the way that's done, and the magical moment of the Trail of Lonesome Pine as well. It's not just these uplifting musical numbers. They are kind of containing hilarious moments as well. For example, when Laurel kind of sings off tune, and then of course Hardy whacks him over the head with a mallet, and he's high pitched, and he falls to the ground. Absolutely hilarious. Some of my favourite moments are just in and around the saloon. We have the meat, in Laurel's shoe, and he throws the meat to the dogs. It's just one of the funniest moments there, and just when as well Hardy later on in the films, kind of gets the bucket on his head, and James Finlayson, kicks the bucket, and it's just Hardy's head, underneath that. Wow, it's one of the funniest Laurel and Hardy films, and just everything in this film. One of my favourite, kind of recurring gags as well is when, Hardy, kind of says to Laurel, you got to eat my hat, and he doesn't really think that Laurel would do this, and Laurel actually goes on to eat quite a bit of the hat, and it is Hardy's hat, and there's holes in this, and he's got to wear this, and really it's throughout the rest of the film that Hardy is wearing this hat, and they kept it up as well, the continuity. It actually appears as it kind of bitten and stuff, and holes in this hat for the rest of the film that Hardy is wearing. So that is just absolutely hilarious. Every time I see this, it's just one of the funniest kind of Laurel and Hardy kind of gags, and it's just priceless. This film, I think when we have kind of Hardy, Laurel, and James Finlayson and Lola as well in the same room, and all this, and they're kind of trying to get the deed off them, and just Laurel was putting it in the pocket and everything like this, and then he's laughing constantly, and he's getting tickled as well. That is another standout sequence. It goes on for quite a bit, and every single second is absolutely hilarious. I just thought, wow, once again seeing this, I can't stop laughing. Just at certain moments, it just puts me into a laughing fit, just like Laurel, and just seeing the final act as well. We have James Finlayson, in his pajamas and all this, and they're kind of trying to sneak in, making a racket. Of course, the donkey as well is hoisted up, and all this. It's just absolutely hilarious. Wow, what can I say? Just every single moment of this film is just flawless for me. The slapstick, which Laurel and Hardy are known for, particularly, in this film, is standout. I think the way this is designed, the build up to different sequences, it's all still very natural in the flow, of this, and I think they are at the prime still in this film. I just think the writing as well, and very simple plot, but it allows them to kind of run with this, and different situations, scenarios. I think the performances in this are absolutely stunning. Once again, perfect for Laurel and Hardy, James Finlayson, and everyone around them really as well. All the side characters so memorable, and the way they kind of play off of Laurel and Hardy, the sheriff as well, the way he kind of at one point chases them out of town, shoots, of course, and just the build up of different kind of plot threads, in that sense as well, and the way it culminates as well is a very uplifting film. In the end, we have, of course, Mary Roberts and Laurel and Hardy kind of going off, walking off there with the deed, and they've rescued her, of course, from her guardians, of course, and all the villains of the film, and she's going to be, of course, inheriting the fortune, and it's a very happy ending, and just one final note with of course Hardy falling once again through the puddle there, and that is the way the film ends. I thought that was perfect, just wrapping everything up, a very nice uplifting moment, and then them walking in just in true Hardy fashion, falling through the puddle there, and it's just a perfect ending. And I think this film has some of the funniest and most charming interactions as well between Laurel and Hardy, different characters. Mary Roberts in particular. I loved the chemistry between these three, and you do gets so behind Mary Roberts and wanting her to kind of get this deed and get out of course of the clutches of James Finlayson, and it is done in a charming way though. Of course, him being the villain, and he's just so great in this film. The way he tries to deceive Laurel Hardy, of course, is just so well done, and as well, the kind of you feel the kind of tragic elements to Mary Roberts, and how James Finlayson has, of course, Mickey Finn has had this hold over her, and then of course it's even more kind of satisfying, and uplifting, of course, in the end when they do get away, from James Finlayson. Everything that Laurel says in this, it's just once again, it's just genius, and Hardy, of course, the pairing there. I love the way they kind of sing in this film and perform, and just as well the kind of classic, as I say, Laurel Hardy slapstick. It's all there, it's just it all makes up for one of the very, very best Laurel Hardy films. And what can I say? This is an uplifting film. It's magic cinema. It's flat out hilarious from start to finish. We have great sets to this film. I just love the look of this film, and the kind of the tone of this, it being a western, and it's just such a unique film, in kind of Laurel Hardy's, filmography, and also just in general as a western comedy musical. This is one of the most unique ones, and it's just perfect runtime. None of this is just less than perfection. All of the gags, also just the slapstick, every single moment of this film, I think is just flawless, and it truly is one of my favourite films of all time. It's my absolute favourite Laurel Hardy film. Well, if it's not, it's very, very, very close. I must say that, and when we get to the ranking, which I'll do eventually, you'll find out. But this one truly is one of their pinnacle films, and I just think it's from start to finish, as I say, flawless and magical cinema. So my final rating for this film is 100% plus tier 1. So yes, what can I say? This is one of my absolute favourite films of all time. So that represents, my absolute love of this film. I think it's just one of the funniest films, one of the most magical kind of comedy films as well. As a western, as a musical at times, this is just perfection, and it just really is. It's a one that I'm constantly laughing at, throughout the entire film. It's got some of the funniest interactions with Laurel Hardy. It's got one of the most investing as well narratives, one that you can really, at least for me, truly get invested in, and kind of the different characters, not just Laurel Hardy. It kind of has this slightly emotional core as well. Well, it's not really about that. It does have those subtle moments which kind of gets you really invested and kind of feeling different things. For example, for Mary Roberts, and I think the ending as well is just absolutely magical cinema, and all the gags throughout this, the consistency, the way it's written, just the production to this, the look and the feel of this film is absolutely stunning. This is truly classic Laurel Hardy, and what can I say? I love this film. I grew up watching this, not from as young an age as, kind of when I was 5 and 6, watching a lot of the Laurel Hardys, like Sons of the Desert, the music box and all these. But I think still from the age of 12, it's been many, many years that I've been watching it and loving this film, and there'll be many more to come. This is one that one of my staple, kind of go-to Laurel Hardy films, that I'll put on every now and then. Just, absolutely love this one, and it's just, in terms of Laurel Hardy's performances, I think this is some of their best, and they perform, they dance, they sing, and just some of the funniest moments within the timing. It's just spot on. I never really find it lacks in Laurel Hardy's, but this is certainly one of their best in that sense as well. I think just they were the funniest team for me in cinema history, just ever, and I think. Once again, this being one of their defining moments for me, they are just flawless throughout this film, and all the, as I say, the side characters, James Finlayson, Rosina Lawrence, just everyone in this film, plays this so well, and just as a unique Western film, this is one of the best for me as well. So yes, Laurel Hardy, Way Out West. That's my thoughts. What do you think? It'd be a pleasure as always to discuss Laurel Hardy in the comments, and what do you think on this film? What's your personal experience when watching this film? When did you first see this and all this? And how does it compare, for you to different Laurel Hardy films? It's always fascinating to kind of hear different opinions on Laurel Hardy, and share our passions, of course, for Laurel Hardy in the comments. And I will be on the channel covering, as many Laurel Hardy films as I can. I've done a few already. There'll be a playlist for that in the description. But certainly haven't scratched the surface. It's just, I will be now finally getting to fully, kind of, as much as I can, reviewing and talking about Laurel Hardy on the channel. I will be doing top 10s, and rankings as well, eventually, of all their different films. So I look forward to doing that as well, massively. And just celebrating Laurel and Hardy. For me, they are the funniest, guys, who've ever existed. And, I just cannot stress that enough. To me, they are the funniest. They uplift me, they move me, and they just put me in a sense of carefree, comforted mood. I just watch their films and get so hypnotized by them, and just laughing so much that I've never laughed as much as watching certain Laurel and Hardy films. That's for sure, and I just think they are truly something else. Truly special. It's just always great to talk about their films and watch their films as well. So look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments, and as always, take care and thanks for watching.